Well, here we are again, you, me, and all this knowledge I'm about to bestow upon you. Got some really cool things I want to show you and talk about, so let's get into it. Cloud gaming. You guys have probably heard of it. Some of y'all even use it on a regular basis. I know I do. But cloud gaming has actually been around a lot longer than most people think. In the year 2000, a company called G-Cluster actually they announced their cloud gaming platform. And they did that at E3 in the year 2000. Now, unfortunately, their company just kind of disappeared. But it did pave the way for everybody else, like Xbox, PlayStation, Nvidia, and Stadia. But I've taken so many shots at them. It's not even funny. But all jokes aside, it is actually a really cool, I guess, niche area right now, just because not everybody is getting into it. But I am definitely dipping my toes in. Just like all these other companies that are kind of starting to dip their own toes in the proverbial pool of cloud gaming. Now, there are a bunch of different platforms and devices you can play on. And I did name some of the platforms as far as like Xbox and Nvidia and all them. But the devices, they range wide, like from phones to TVs, computers, tablets, all kinds of stuff, streaming devices. But that being said, what I want to talk about is the Xbox and Samsung partnership, because they actually partnered up to bring cloud gaming to the masses, because Samsung is one of the most popular TVs on the planet. Working at Best Buy, I got so many people coming in asking for Samsung TVs over Sony and LG. I had to inform people or remind them that they exist, that LG and Sony exist. But this partnership is really cool because what it does is it brings a console-esque feeling to your TV. You don't need any extra devices other than a controller. And using a controller, you can actually use almost any Bluetooth controller. Now, I'm using the Elite controller, but you can use a PlayStation controller, you can use a Luna controller, because Amazon Luna is on here as well, but you can use almost any Bluetooth controller. Now, some USB controllers do work, but they are very limited on which ones will work. Microsoft does have a list on their website of all the controllers that are supported, so I'll leave, of course, links and stuff so you can go check that out. Now, on the actual app, there are over 100 different games you can play and a bunch of AAA titles like Forza, Mortal Kombat, Ghost Recon, all of those. I'm a big Forza guy, and so I'm actually going to play that here in a second. And so with this partnership, Samsung was able to put some really cool things inside the TV, like for instance a Bluetooth module, because my buddy actually is a Samsung rep who works at Best Buy. He was talking about how there's a specific Bluetooth module that's in the Xbox that they put in the TV. So you get ridiculously low input latency, or just input lag. And what latency is how fast the action happens on the screen when you push a button. So you push a button, it's almost instantaneous when you're playing a console or a PC or something like that. And it's almost instantaneous on a TV too. I really can't tell any type of difference. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and jump into a game and let's get started with that. All right, so I got my controller paired up already. Now, really cool thing is you can pretty much control almost every single aspect of your TV with this. So I'm going to hit the Xbox button, and it's going to go to the Smart menu. Now, you can see it. We got the Xbox app right there. Now, I did not have to download this because of that partnership. It was already installed. Now, older Samsung TVs usually don't support this. I think around 3 to 5 years old is where Samsung starts killing off apps or killing off updates for TVs. So some older TVs, you may not be able to get this. You may have to have a new one. Like I have the Q60. This one is a fairly new TV, so it did come with it on it already. So I'm going to go over to it, and I'm going to open it up. Load times are so quick. If you have an Xbox, you know about the quick resume, or where you back out of a game, go back into it, and it's instant. You don't have to reload anything. You don't have to wait for any loading screens. It's just instant. Pretty much the same thing here. Now, of course, the first initial load is kind of slow, takes about 15, 20 seconds, but still, on a TV, that is fast. And speaking of on the TV, it's not using the TV's hardware to play the game. It's treating it as like a stream, like you're streaming Netflix or something. It's treating it like that. So the speed necessary for playing this on a TV is around 20 megabits per second. I recommend personally 50 megabits just because I have a gigabit, but I recommend 50 because anything lower than that, trying to play at high resolution, it gets choppy or it will pixelate, just look horrible. On mobile devices, they recommend around 10 megabits per second, but I'd say about 15 to 20. But as you can see, so it's a very, very like close reminiscent feel of the Xbox console itself. You can see all your friends, you can start chats with friends, like while you're in game, you can hit the Xbox app, and I'll show you this here in a second. It'll bring over a side menu, you can start a party chat, you can join a party chat, see your trophies, all that stuff. But so many different AAA titles. One big game, of course, that everybody knows is Fortnite, and that is free to play. And you can play it on here, and it's already like preloaded and ready. But all of these other ones you can, of course, play if you have Game Pass Ultimate. Now, talking about the Game Pass, it kind of brings me to some of these other platforms. All of them you usually, more than likely, have to pay for it. I think the only one you really don't have to pay for is GeForce Now, and of course Fortnite on this one. But with GeForce Now, I have a bone to pick with NVIDIA. Now, they have 3 different tiers. They have their free $10 and $20 subscriptions. But all 3 of them, you are limited on playtime. For instance, the free version, you get an hour. The $10 version, you get 3. And the $20 version, you only get 8. This has no play limit. You can play as long as you want, as long as you have Game Pass Ultimate. Now, on NVIDIA, there's 3 different tiers, the free, 10, and 20. Now, the free version, you get 1080 at 30 frames for an hour. The $10 one, you get up to 1440p if the display, like for instance for computers, if it can do it, it'll do up to 1440p at 60 frames for 3 hours. And then the $20 one, which is really cool, you actually get a 3080, but they're going to be upgrading it to 4080s for 8 hours up to 4K at 120 frames, which is phenomenal, which is amazing. But you're limited to 8 hours. Why, NVIDIA? If I'm paying $20, give me unlimited playtime. That's just how that works. You are a billion-dollar company. Fix it. Sorry for the rant, but I like being able to play as long as I want. Now, on all devices, Xbox does also limit the resolution, frame rate, and all that. For instance, on mobile devices, you get 720p at 30 frames. With TVs, you get 4K at 60 frames, and PCs and Chromebooks and consoles. I don't know why you would cloud game on a console when it's a gaming console, but I digress. It's there. On consoles and PCs, you can get up to, of course, 1440p at 60 frames. Xbox does not support 120 yet. Hopefully they push out some updates to fix that. But I'm going to play Forza because I like race cars. And so the load times are pretty quick. Like I was saying, this is the beta version of this. So it is an actual finalized launch, but it is still the beta. But I do get a really good Xbox feel. It just feels like I'm playing a console. I can't tell I'm playing on a TV. If you would have asked me 10 years ago that I would be playing Forza on my TV without a console, I'd have called you crazy. But, like, so when it comes to the quality of the game, it is running at 4K, but it's a compressed 4K because, of course, it's sending a large signal over the internet thousands of miles, and so it has to compress it. But don't get me wrong, it still looks beautiful. And I'm going to, here in a second, I'm going to kind of show you the latency. I'm going to push the trigger, and then I'm going to turn the wheel, and we're going to see how responsive it is. So, here we go. So, push it, and then I'm going to That's pretty good. That is really good. I am really impressed with this. And if you guys haven't played the Hot Wheels pack on Forza, you might want to try. It's freaking awesome. All these giant Hot Wheels tracks. It's like I'm a kid again. Oh, I love it. But so the latency was a big like question mark for me. So like how I explained latency is just the input and how long it takes for the game to react. Xbox or Microsoft, their latency is around 8 to 74 milliseconds. That's pretty quick. Because I mean, you're playing on a TV. And I mean, I keep saying that, but it blows my mind every time I think of it. NVIDIA has around 40 milliseconds. That's what their website says, and I mean, they didn't give any more than that. But Xbox aims to get it to around 7 to, what was it? 2 to 12, sorry. It's using working on a new technology called Direct Capture, up to 1440p on 4K TVs, 1080p on PC and consoles. But, I mean, heck, 8 to 74 milliseconds? That is insane. Oh, I cannot make that. I'm not making that. Oh my God. But yeah, like, I'm thoroughly impressed. I keep saying how cool this is and how impressed I am, but it just blows my mind that we're at a part in our journey of technology that we can get rid of a console. I mean, how long are consoles gonna last with this kind of stuff? That's my big question. But yeah, I mean, we're at a time where gaming is so easily accessible that you don't have an excuse anymore to say, oh, I haven't played that yet, unless you just don't like playing video games. But I mean, teach their own. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my, I guess, spiel on cloud gaming. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed this, if you plan on trying some cloud gaming, or if you already play some cloud gaming, what platform do you use? Do you use it on your phone, computer, TV, tablet, whatever it is? Let me know what you use. I'm very curious in what platform you use. Or if you could just care less, just say, I could care less. I'll just stick to my console. But whatever you choose, I mean, it's your choice. But make sure you smash that like button because it helps me out, and get subscribed so you can catch the next video. But until next time, though, love y'all. Stay blessed.